myself. I need to put myself on the chat, guys. Otherwise we don't even have a live stream. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. Welcome wherever you're watching from, whether it's evening, morning. I don't even know what time it is because apparently different parts of the world have different time zones. But who would have thought it? So listen, guys, we are going to be talking about Britain races to appease Muslims. Guys, look, I hate to give this as such a title, but it really is the case right now. Britain, the United Kingdom, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and when I talk about this, I'm putting Ireland in this as well, because right now, guys, we're all under the same threat. We're all under the same. We are all under the same dark rain cloud. So, what I'm talking about today, guys, is Britain is racing to appease Muslims, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my speculation, opinion, analysis, and of course, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Don't take anything that I say for gospel. I'm just a guy on the internet. Sometimes I get things wrong. Let me know what you think, guys. Look, I will be quite clear. If you're going to call me out, if you want to argue with me, guys, you know, if you want to argue with me, that's fine. Don't be rude. Don't be offensive. Don't be unintellectual. If you're just going to spam stuff, I will just block you. I won't even give you the time of day. I'll just block you and you'll be gone. You will be absolutely gone, delivered on. You will be gone, delivered on. So, look, guys, before we start, I hate saying this. Can you like, comment, subscribe, like, bell notification if you're watching on YouTube, if you're up there? Let's just get into this, guys. So, I live in the United Kingdom. I grew up in Rotherham, which was the epicenter for the rape, for the grooming gang scandal. My opinion, speculation, and analysis right now is that Britain is racing to appease Muslims. Why? Well, I'll tell you. You've got two aspects of this, really. You've got the political and the security threat. So, first of all, politically, the Muslim vote in the United Kingdom makes or breaks politicians. So Jess Phillips, for example, you know, we've all seen the videos of people in Birmingham coming out saying, we'll let you people know that people in Birmingham, we all stand with Palestine in it. And if you want to come out on the streets on the 6th of November and show your support, hear me now one time. You feel me, fam? You know, we've all heard people come out on the streets and say things like that. That is Jess Phillips's. That's where Jess Phillips is rolling from. So Jess Phillips cannot, and this is the reality, guys. And this is why politics is so dirty. Jess Phillips cannot do the right thing, because if she does the right thing, she'll lose her job. If she loses her job, her family, I don't know what her family situation is. I don't know if she's married. I don't know if she's got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or maybe two girlfriends. I don't know. But if Jess Phillips goes against the Muslim vote in Birmingham, she's going to lose her job. That's the reality, guys. So here's a question for everyone, guys. Just a quick question for everyone. Do you want to lose your job? I would suspect the vast majority of people would say no. Likewise, I think that is with Jess Phillips as well. I don't think she wants to lose her job. She's on a pretty good gig. She's on a pretty good gig at the moment. As long as she protects her voters, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. As long as she protects her voters, guys, she's fine. So that's the political aspect. Guys, the fucking situation's getting worse. Like, by the hour, it's getting worse. It's not by the day. It's not by the week. It's getting worse by the hour. So now a fifth, I'll come on to that in a second, guys, but a fifth. So we've had... The other day when I was talking on the live stream, we had 4, we had 2, we had 6 people resign. Now it looks like we've got 7 people resign from this grooming gangs inquiry. Turns out nobody wants to be on there. Who'd have thought it, guys? Who'd have thought it? Why don't we just make a law in the United Kingdom where rape is legal? Why don't we just have it? Guys, I'm 4 beers in. I'm 4 beers in. I probably shouldn't be doing a live stream. So why don't we? You know what, Sean, put that away. That's for when you're 6 beers in. Right, let's get back on track, ladies and gentlemen. Britain races to appease the Muslims. So in the first context, Britain are appeasing the Muslim vote. You know, we've got politicians, we've got government officials, we've got the infiltration now. It's there, it's ready. You can see it with your own eyes. Oh, hang on, sorry. It's there, it's available. You guys can see that political, and you can understand it, guys. Look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's not try and sugarcoat this. If your job was on the line, if you was Jess Phillips and your job was on the line, let's face it, I think Jess Phillips' employment potential is limited. Let's just be polite about it. I think Jess Phillips' future employment potential is limited, guys. You know, unless she's going to go over to like Palestine and be like a nurse or something. Oh, Gaza. Unless she's going to go over to Gaza and be a nurse or something, I think her employment. I think her employment scope is limited. I don't think she has many transferable skills. Anyway, so that's the political aspect of this, why Britain is racing to appease Muslims. You've then got the security threat. You've now got the police in the United Kingdom absolutely racing to appease Muslims. Because you know what, guys? Muslims kick off all the time. They do. They kick off all the time. Look, guys, put it in the chat. Please put it in the chat. If you've seen videos, if you've heard interviews of people saying, yeah, this police force arrested this guy and then the whole Muslim community surrounded the police station, so they let him go. Does that sound like law to you guys? Does that sound like law? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please go and fact check everything I'm saying. So we are in the United Kingdom, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are heading towards a Mad Max scenario. We are. We were talking about what kind of apocalypse it's going to be, what kind of dystopia it's going to be. Look, guys, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping for a cyberpunk. I was hoping for a cyberpunk, altered carbon. Yeah, I'm restricted on YouTube again. I'm restricted on TikTok again, guys. Listen, I don't know what's happening. I'm not even going to appeal it. Guys, listen, if you're on TikTok, can you do me a real favor? Because I keep getting restricted. Can you keep sharing the live and tapping the screen? I don't ask this very often. In fact, like I can't even remember the last time I asked this. Like, if you're on TikTok and you're watching, can you tap the screen and share the live? I've just been restricted on TikTok. I don't know why. Honestly, guys, I don't know why I've been restricted on TikTok. I'm not going to keep saying it. It's happened to me now a few times, like I think the last maybe 3 or 4 live streams we've done, I've been restricted. So I don't know what that is. So can you like do the stuff on TikTok or whatever, or do whatever it is to get the channel going? Equally, guys, while we're on TikTok, while you guys are on TikTok, if the live stream goes off, jump over to YouTube, guys. Jump over to YouTube because we are triple streaming. We're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, and we are on X. And the crux of this video, ladies and gentlemen, is Britain races to appease the Muslims. So the type of dystopia that we are heading towards right now is a Mad Max scenario. And, you know, like I just said, you know, I would much rather this be a Takeshi Kovacs altered carbon dystopia. But you know what, guys, you know, I've had my hopes dashed before. This looks like another one of them. What I'm talking about here is, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken about this quite a few times. If you guys have ever watched Mad Max, the first one, the very first Mad Max, you have this very peculiar situation where you have a police force, but no law. And the police force are just pretending to enforce the law. you have these big criminal gangs who are blatant criminal gangs, and the police don't touch them because the police don't have the resources to go after the criminal gangs. What the police force do is enforce social media posts. And I know that's not a Mad Max, but this is where we're going, guys. Okay, so that is the reality. And if you don't think I'm telling the truth, look at where we are right now in the United Kingdom, guys. The police, as far, this is my speculation, guys, and of course this is for entertainment purposes. Whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm saying, go and check out, go do your own research. What I'm saying is the police in the United Kingdom are not going after these grooming gangs. They're protecting them. Entertainment purposes, guys, whatever, I don't want to get Lucy Conlon. Do your own research. Whether you think that's right or wrong, put it in the chat. But then if you make a post, an online post, hello, Raven. Yeah, we heard you did an online post. Yeah, I did lots. Which one? Yeah, not the one about the UAPs. Oh, the other one. Yeah, okay. You best come in your cup of tea. So that's where we are right now, guys, and we are heading towards that type of Mad Max dystopia. Also, ladies and gentlemen, and I didn't really want to cover this tonight, but I think I need to. So I do want to keep these two things separate, all right? I do. I want to keep these two things separate. We've also got this asteroid or this comet, like, blasting its way towards Earth right now, 3i Atlas. And as I understand it, what I'm watching right now and what I'm looking at. So look, guys, first of all, we are getting no real official updates on 3i Atlas. Let's not forget that these celestial rocks can destroy worlds. These can destroy worlds. So I'm just going to read you this, guys, from an X post. And this is from Skywatch Signal, and they've got a blue tick, and I follow them for a while, and they don't usually give false information. So I'm just going to read you this, guys, okay? The International Asteroid Warning Network just targeted 3i Atlas. It finally happened. The International Asteroid Warning Network, IAWN, the UN-endorsed planetary defense group, has initiated a global monitoring campaign for the interstellar visitor 3i Atlas. This marks the first time in history. Boom! We're breaking boundaries here, guys. We're breaking boundaries. We're doing it together. This marks the first time in history an interstellar object has been treated as a planetary defense target. Now, I didn't know these things existed. I'm not going to lie, guys. I didn't know these things existed. So while we're all talking and while we're all, arguing and squabbling among ourselves, we've got these space rocks, these huge space rocks that have the, have the potential to just like decimate society, heading towards us now. As I understand it, this 3i Atlas is at the other side of the sun, but also I've heard it's not at the other side of the sun. I've heard it's going to be at the other side of the sun in the 29th of November. So look, guys, I'm not gonna pretend to be a subject matter expert on celestial mechanics. What I am gonna say is I'm shocked about the lack of official information about this asteroid or comet, whatever it's called, whatever they're calling it. Now, it would make sense for people like NASA, the European Space Agency, I don't know, what's the one that Britain are funding in India, the Indian Space Agency or whatever. It would make sense. And look, guys, I know this is wild. I know this is crazy. But let's not forget, the dinosaurs got wiped out by an asteroid or a comet, whatever, the space rock. Now, I've heard, and again, look, ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm going to, like, the lack of official information, you don't know what to believe. When there's a lack of official information, you don't know what to believe. And even when the official information comes out, you're like, what does that really mean? But I'm hearing lots of like open source social media accounts saying that, open source social media accounts saying that they are monitoring this asteroid, because if you've got a big telescope, apparently you can monitor this. So if you've got your own telescope, you can monitor this yourself. And look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't have a big telescope. Like, it's about like maybe that big or something, our telescope. I can't monitor this thing, so I can't tell you what's really happening. If it's guns, bombs, planes, trains, planes, automobiles, tactics, strategy, I'm all over that. But when there are space rocks, let's call it space rock, flying their way through the cosmos, I just get a little bit nervous, guys. I do. I get a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I get a little bit nervous. So that's the situation there. And I've heard that it's speeding up. I've heard it's changing direction. I've heard that the tail has changed. So I genuinely don't know, guys. What I do know is the lack of official information is concerning. You would think that the international agencies would want to keep people informed, but apparently not. Apparently they don't want to. And then I have to go back to that movie, Don't Look Up. Is it Don't Look Up or Don't? Yeah, Don't Look Up. Leonardo DiCaprio. Is it? Yeah, Don't Look Up. I think it's Meryl Streep. I have to think about that movie. And then if you think about that movie, you've got to think about that other movie where, where they put the glasses on. Somebody help me out here. What's it called? Is it called From Now? They Live. Sorry, They Live. They Live. Where they put the glasses on and they can see all wild stuff. What fantastic. I only watched that a couple of months ago. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are talking about, guys. That's what we're talking about. I'm going to jump into the comments in a second. The crux of this live stream, though, I know I've just talked a little bit there about 3i Atlas because it's wild. The crux of this live stream is Britain is absolutely racing. And I mean racing like a good little boy, to appease Muslims. That is the reality of the situation, guys. Britain, I've got another restriction. I'm not even going to appeal. I'm just going to, whatever. I don't care. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are on TikTok and the live stream goes off, jump over to YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. I'm not getting no restrictions on YouTube, and I'm not getting any restrictions on X either. But I will keep it open on YouTube, on TikTok, as long as it is possible. So I'm going to jump on the TikTok chat first, guys, because I'm probably going to get kicked off there at some point. Good evening, everyone on TikTok. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen on TikTok. Right, let me... Nelly, hello, Nelly. Nelly is saying, why don't most people understand the collective mass and wide cover-up by authorities of the PDF abuse? So, Nelly, earlier on we was talking about this, and what I did is I got up Lord, what's his name? Lord Ahmed's, or I don't know if you're Sunni or Shia. I can't remember which one it is. It's either Ahmed or Ahmed. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Lord Ahmed. So I explained to you guys the curious case of Lord Ahmed. And I read off Lord Ahmed's Wikipedia page. Now, Lord Ahmed has spent time in jail for sexually assaulting under a 13-year-old. In that context, I think, and I might be wrong with this, guys. I'll bet you need to go fact check this yourself. I think that 13-year-old was a boy. He also had to resign from the House of Lords because of alleged sexual misconduct. Okay, so now you've got this guy. You guys can imagine this guy, Lord Ahmed. Okay, Lord Ahmed. Imagine that guy, Lord Ahmed. Done time in jail for sexual sexual assault. He got kicked out of the House of Lords for alleged sexual assault or whatever. Go and check his Wikipedia page out, guys. That guy, Lord Ahmed, was a magistrate in Rotherham between 1992 and 2000. Do you not think that there's any do you not think there's any skeletons in the closet there, guys? Do you not think there's any skeletons in the closet? Do you not think, and this is a question, this is not an accusation, this is a question. Do you not think Lord Ahmed, he's now Lord Ahmed, he was Magistrate Ahmed back then. Do you not think Magistrate Ahmed could have potentially let people off for sexual offences? Maybe he was in on it. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think the tentacles of this sexual exploitation, grooming gangs, I think this goes a lot deeper than people have the... I think this goes a lot deeper than people have the will to dig. I do, guys. I think this goes a lot deeper than people have the will to dig. I think it's still going on. I do. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in Rotherham in the 90s. I did. I grew up in Rotherham in the 90s. So I understand how these things were happening. I understand how these things were being swept under the carpet. And again, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if I'm going over old tropes. One of my friends, I'll go through this quick. One of my friends, they were like Muslims who live, I think they were Pakistani Muslims who lived across the road from him. And there were girls going into their house all the time. Look, guys, if anybody wants to call me out on this, and if anyone wants to make challenges, I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to go to my friend and get the names of the officers, and that will, so if there's any Labour MPs there saying, oh, this is slander, oh, this is slander, try me, big man. Try me. Absolutely try me. I will, try me real quick, and I will produce those emails. Right? Try me. Come at me. Come after me. Get those police to come and knock at my door and say, oh, Sean, you were saying this. I'll go to my friend and say, mate, look, I'm in the shit now. Can you give me them emails? He'll be like, yeah, no worries. So what I'm going to tell you now is 100% alleged fact. For entertainment purposes, of course. So my friend reported some people across the road, because there were girls going in all the time, all through the night. My friend had kids. Kids couldn't get to sleep. There's always taxis pulling up, shouting, glasses. You know the thing. And my friend said, look, I don't know what's happening over there. I don't know whether they're terrorists. I don't know whether they're running a brothel. I don't know, but something's happening over there and it's not legal. The police officers actually gave my friend a verbal warning for racism. So now you can imagine how deep these tentacles go, guys. You can only imagine how deep these tentacles go, guys. It's unbelievable. These tentacles are going to go deep. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get the last few. Comments on TikTok. Welcome everyone joining on TikTok. There are loads of people joining on TikTok this evening. Cornish guy is saying, have you heard they're going to carbon footprint humans? I mean, intake holidays, etc. Let me pin this actually. So I'm pinning this comment on TikTok, guys, and the comment is from Cornish Guy 73, and he looks like a cool guy. I'd like to be his, I think we could be friends, Cornish Guy 73. And he's saying, have you heard about they're going to carbon footprint humans, i.e. intake holidays, etc. I've seen a lot of people sharing their online bank statements or whatever, saying you use this much carbon tax. Guys, we need to tell carbon taxes to fuck off. We really do. We need to say, go fuck yourself, carbon tax. I'm good. What about the Diwali fucking fireworks, guys? What about the, like, honestly, the other day, guys, I thought the Russians were coming. Fireworks and all sorts of crazy shit were happening. Apparently, it was the Diwali. I'm like, I don't celebrate fucking Diwali. What is Diwali? I don't even want to know. But yeah, I do think it's coming. Kiwi 2, sorry. So I do apologize. Kiwi 2 is saying, I watched Dobsonian Power. He's watching Three Eye Atlas with his own telescope. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, can you give me more? Kiwi 2, can you send me a link to his page, please? Can you send me a link to his page? So yeah, guys, look, what I've just been talking about, Three Eye Atlas, like, I'm genuinely concerned. I'm concerned about this, whatever it is, an asteroid, a comet, whatever, I don't know. I'm concerned about the one called, is it called Swan? But the biggest one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm genuinely, like, Apple scared of is the one that's coming in 2029 on the 13th of November. Sorry, the 13th of, 13th of April. I'm genuinely scared about that one, guys. Friday the 13th of April, might I add. That asteroid or whatever it's called, that absolutely terrifies me, guys. It really does. It really does. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump over to I'm going to have a bite of the apple, actually. Oh. I got these from the tree. People say you should pick them in September, but it's bullshit. You need to leave them till at least November. And I know that we're still in October, but it's like the end of October. Leave your apple. Guys, if you've got an apple tree, leave it till November. It's bullshit picking them in September. So BP Sputnik on YouTube is saying police are smelly perverts. Right, okay. I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to challenge that. And I'm going to say I don't think police are smelly perverts. I've met a lot of police officers when I was in the military, a lot of armed response guys, and they really are solid guys. You know, they are guys that want to do the job. They want to take down bad guys. They want to do the best with what they've got. But I do understand a lot of people think that police are smelly perverts because at that, like, lower community level where you don't have to have that type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Training, and you don't have to have that type of mindset to be just an average officer on the beat. You know, that's where I think a lot of these things went wrong, especially in Rotherham. Give over Slim. So Slim over on YouTube is saying, apparently, I was reading this comment, guys. That apple is really good, guys. I used a load of these and I fermented them. I want to turn it into apple brandy, and that's going to be really good brandy. So Slim on YouTube is saying, apparently, Three Eye Atlas has stopped, according to Makio Kaku, who's like the Chinese like physicist guy. Perhaps it is a spaceship after all. Listen, guys, I'll be honest with you. No, I was pretty convinced that this 3i Atlas, it was just going to be a space rock. But it is getting weirder, guys. It is getting weirder. Listen, we're going to find out in a couple of days. Sean McKay is saying, Sean, if cops were here to protect the innocent, which is their duty, they should be facing the hotels. Yeah, do you know what? I agree. But, well, there's no but. I agree. Can you imagine, though, how bad it is for the police officers? And look, guys, I'm giving you an alternate opinion here. I'm giving you what I think about, because I know what it's like being on those police lines, and I know what it's like being on those picket lines and the base lines. Sorry, not picket lines. Picket lines the other way. Those police officers probably agree with the people who are throwing bricks at them, but they don't want to lose their jobs. That's the reality, guys. You know, they don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to go home to their wife and say, Mandy, yeah, I got the sack. What did you do now, Paul? Well, you know how there was all the protests at the hotel? So I do, Paul. Those fucking bastards have done this to a 10-year-old girl. Those guys have got the right to protest. Yeah, well, what I did is I dropped my shield, told the rest of my officers to go fuck themselves, and I started throwing stones. You did what? You lost your job over that? You know, so you can understand from the police officer's point of view. They don't want to lose their job. But this is the reality, guys, okay? They're going to lose their jobs anyway. So they need to understand that. I was watching something the other day. It was honestly, guys, it was so fucking wild. I was watching a guy. I don't know whether it was Amazon. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this video. So I was watching a guy, and he was training an AI delivery bot. I don't know. And basically, a van pulled up. It might have been Amazon, guys. It might not. I genuinely don't know. But this guy pulled up in a van. It might have been it doesn't matter who it was. It definitely doesn't matter. This guy pulled up in this delivery van to deliver a parcel. I don't know who it was. And this like little dog thing came out with a parcel thing. And the man stood there. And the dog, well, I'm going to say it were a dog. It wasn't a dog at all. It was a robot. I don't even know why I'm calling it a dog. This robot got out, the doors opened automatically of this van. This little robot came out on legs, found the house, walked over to the house, delivered the parcel, and walked back to the van. Can you imagine that? Hey, mate. Hey, Paul. Paul, can you train these delivery robots how to work before we sack you? Yeah, no worries, mate. Are you going to give me an extra couple of months? Well, yeah, just can you be really efficient with it? I will, boss. I got to do it like a master. You know, literally, artificial intelligence, guys, is going to take everybody's jobs. It's going to take everybody's jobs. And if you don't think it is, it's definitely taking your job. Lisa Jane is saying, never heard of AI glasses. Guys, AI glasses are just smart glasses, really. You can get lots of different functions in them. You can just get the like imagine Google, what is it when you talk? I don't know, Siri or whatever, Gemini. You know, you press the button, you can talk, you can listen to AI. Sorry, guys. Let me move it out of the way. So Templar Matt is saying, just remind me, I forgot why we need to act lawful. Even bees and ants will take out their own queen if she isn't performing properly for the colony, for the safety of the colony. Well, it comes down to that age-old question, doesn't it? What is lawful, and who does the government work for? You know, right now in the United Kingdom, you know, the strong argument is that the government does not work for the people. The government works for the donors, and the donors take money off the people. That's the reality. Guys, listen, let's get back to these grooming gangs, okay? So, 5 of the grooming gang survivors have now resigned. They've tapped out. They've said, look, we're good. We don't want to be part of this shit show. That's the reality. You know, that is the reality. 5 of the survivors. And I think there were 6. I don't know, guys, but I think there were 6. So there's only one person, only one of the survivors left who's on that panel. Now, all 5 of them are saying that Jess Phillips needs to resign because they don't have confidence in Jess Phillips, because they don't believe that Jess Phillips, I can't, honestly, you know when I say these things, you know when I'm saying these things, guys, and I promise you, when I'm saying these things, I feel like it's not real. Honestly, guys, I feel like what I'm saying is not real. So we've got a situation in the United Kingdom where we have had mass rape of young white girls. 8, 9, 10, 10-year-olds get labeled as prostitutes. 11, 12, 13 seems to be the normal, you know, 13 seems to be the number that these gangs like to target. 13-year-old girls. You know, that's the reality. That's the Britain that we're living in right now. And the Britain that we're living in right now is racing, and this is my analysis, speculation, and opinion, guys. This is, of course, for entertainment purposes only. But the Britain we are living in right now, for entertainment purposes only, is racing to appease the Muslims. Because the Muslim vote, if Jess Phillips does not protect, this is my speculation, guys, if Jess Phillips does not protect her voters, guess what? They're not going to vote for her. You know. So, of course, she's protecting her asset, and her main asset is her vote. So I'm just going to read you this now, guys. This is from the BBC. And look, guys, and I know I get a lot of negativity when I read from the BBC, but I'm reading from the BBC, and I will give commentary afterwards. I read from the BBC because I can't be done for, like, fake news or anything if I am reading from the BBC. So, Prime Minister backs ministers as 5th grooming gang survivor urges her to quit. Oh, maybe she hasn't resigned, actually. Maybe I got that wrong. Let me continue this, guys. So Keir Starmer has backed the safeguarding minister, Jess Phillips, as the 5th abuse survivor calls for her to quit to restore trust in the grooming gangs inquiry. Let me read that again, guys. Let me read that again. We have had mass industrialized rape of our young girls. And the reason I come out, the reason I talk about this, guys, we've got 2 girls, you know, we've got 2 girls, 13 and 11. We don't live too far from Rotherham. We see this on a daily basis. We see this daily. So this is quite pertinent to me. So right now, we have the people who are actually abused. So just contextualize this, guys. The people that were abused And those people are claiming, sloping my shoulders, guys, sloping my shoulders. Those people are claiming that this was exclusively by racially aggravated, let me say that, because by, you know, predominantly people of Pakistani Muslim heritage. And they've been told, lots of mainstream media outlets are reporting this now, guys, lots of them. They've been told not to mention the ethnicity of their abusers. Now, when you have people like Katie Lamb, let me see if I can find this, guys. Yeah. So when you have people like Katie Lamb, who's a British member of parliament, she's a Tory member, saying this.
The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim, generally either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage.
Did you hear that, guys? I'll go back. So when you have people, members of parliament, saying this.
The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim, generally.
The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim. These are not my words, guys. These are the words of Katie Lamb. I'm just repeating them.
Either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage.
Either from Pakistan or Pakistani heritage.
One of the victims from Dewsbury was told by...
One of the victims from Dewsbury was told by her attacker, listen to this, guys.
Her rapist, I quote, "We're here to fuck all the white girls and fuck the government."
So she was told by her rapist, "We're here to fuck all the white girls and fuck the government." So that's what she was told. And then the girls that are on this inquiry are told not to mention any racial undertones.
Will the minister accept that in many cases these crimes were racially and religiously aggravated?
So when you put all this together now, guys, you know, and a fifth person has now called for Jess Phillips to resign. So you've got all this evidence now mounting up against Jess Phillips. They're saying, look, Jess, first of all, you're not taking it seriously. Jess, I think the worst thing for me, I don't know whether this is because I'm ex-military, but the worst thing for me was when I was listening to this, and one of the girls was saying, I was explaining this to Jess Phillips and she was smirking at me. Honestly, guys, that sent me over the edge. Can you imagine how difficult it is for these girls to open up these cuts, open up these wounds? And Jess is going, yeah. Tell me again how you was raped. Tell me again, love. How's that come? Yeah, yams. I'm from Birmingham. Look at my teeth. I've got to brush my teeth. She's never gonna get a job with Colgate, is she, guys? Let's just be clear. I'm not being offensive. I don't think Jess Phillips is ever gonna get a job with Colgate. I don't think she is. I might get a job with Colgate. Did you see how I nailed that apple? I'm gonna have one more. No, probably not. Anyway, guys, so you've got all this. And then you've got the Prime Minister backing her, saying, yeah, Jess, all those people might be against you. All those people might not like you. You're calling them a liar for entertainment purposes only, guys. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors. I'm gonna stick with you. I'm gonna back you. That means that he's backing her. That means that Keir Starmer doesn't believe the girls either. You know, the girls that were raped, gang raped. Keir Starmer doesn't believe them. Anyway, guys, let me continue. I'll just read this paragraph and then I'll jump into the comments. Carly, not her real name, joins a group of 4 abuse survivors who have accused Jess Phillips of betrayal over a letter where she described reports the scope of the inquiry could be expanded as untrue. As far as I'm concerned, guys, I believe the girls. Because it's not just the girls, is it now? It's not just the girls. You've got the two people who were the I know one of them was a sexual exploitation expert, like in a good way. I know that doesn't sound right. He was an ex-Irish police officer, Northern Irish police officer, and that's what he specializes in. He also resigned. Because he said, look, this is becoming politically charged. You guys are trying to score political points, and I don't want to be part of this. So now everybody's just dropping. Look, guys, I'll tell you what, I'll repeat what I've said before. I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of this. I mean, I could write the report now in 15 minutes, and I could tell you what the outcome would be. But of course, we need to go through due process, and we need to go through the legal process. It needs to take time and money and expense and lawyers and this and that. We all know what the problem is. We all know what those girls have been through. And we all know the reality of the situation. So, sorry guys. So Carly, not her real name. Carly told the BBC she wanted to remain. Oh, right. Okay. So, right, guys, let me fact check myself. I do apologize. I did think 5 of the girls had resigned, but only 4 of the girls have resigned. But Carly, let me be clear. Carly told the BBC she wanted to remain part of the inquiry, in contrast to the other 4 survivors who would only rejoin if Jess Phillips stood down as a minister. But she said she agreed with their criticism. So this girl, Carly, and again, guys, this is not a real name, and, this is not a real name. Carly is agreeing with the other girls, and she's saying, look, Jess Phillips needs to go. And guys, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I pride myself on being a good judge of character. And I'll tell you where my strengths and weaknesses are. My business partners know that if we go into a business meeting and we are talking about prices, I know to keep my mouth shut. I do, guys. I know just not to say anything. I do. I know that. I know that. Because if I open my mouth in a business meeting, we're either going to pay more or get paid less. So I know just to keep my mouth shut. And everybody knows, Sean, you don't say, I get that. But do you know where my strengths are? When I'm sat there in the meeting, you can imagine the meeting, right? There's like 4 of you and 4 of them, maybe 5, whatever. And somebody's talking. So, guys will text me and they'll say, Sean, do you trust him? And I'll say either yes or no. And they go with that. And these deals sometimes are really big, guys. These deals are sometimes really big. And they ask me, they say, Sean, do you trust him? And that's good enough for my work partners. If I say I don't trust someone, after 30 seconds of meeting them, that's it. That's it. I don't trust them. They don't trust them. The deal's off. What I'm saying to you guys now as friends, and I will caveat this. I've never met Jess Phillips. My opinion may totally change if I ever met her. If I ever met her and I talked to her, I may change that opinion, guys. I will leave that out there, so I don't know. But from watching her Prime Minister Question Times, from seeing her interviews, from seeing her social media, I don't trust her. That's the reality, guys. I would not trust that woman. I wouldn't. And there you go, guys. There you go. I wouldn't trust this woman. So now, knowing that, and I got you guys. I got you. Throw up some other names, guys. I'll tell you who I trust and who I don't trust. So when we're throwing out this stuff, and I'm looking at Jess Phillips, I'm looking at all this information holistically, I'm thinking, yeah, I get it, guys. There's no smoke without fire. But if the cap, no, what do I say? Correlation is not causation, but if the cap fits, wear it. And that is a prime example. George is saying, never been invited to watch a live before. George, what does that mean, mate? George, I've not sent you an invite. I've not sent anybody an invite. George is saying I've not sent. But listen, George, welcome. We welcome everyone on this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are welcoming everyone. Listen, guys, I'm just conscious of the time. The crux of this live stream has been Britain races to appease the Muslims. That's what's happening, guys. If you live in the United Kingdom, do you know what, guys? Not even in the United Kingdom. If you live in the world, Britain, right now, my opinion, speculation, analysis, and of course, for entertainment purposes only, I don't want to get Lucy Conlid, excuse me, is that Britain is racing like a dilly-dacing, like, you know, to appease the Muslims. That's what's happening right now. Guys, look, I'm just going to run to the toilet real quick. I will come back. We'll continue this live stream. If you guys are watching on TikTok, I'm going to be closing TikTok down in like 5 or 6 minutes or something. I will be jumping over to YouTube because I'm a little, you know, they let me talk a little bit more freely on YouTube. So I'm the Real Raven One on YouTube, guys. I'm going to go and have a wee, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to give you guys an update on what's been happening. And look, I'm not going to lie. I've not got through half of what I wanted to talk about yet. But don't worry, I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. But I'm not going yet. I'm going for a wee. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with me. I really do appreciate it. So, looks like the government are calling. And look, guys, I'm not speculating here. This is not analysis. I'm reading this from the BBC. So I don't think. Look, guys, if you want to take it up with me, don't take it up with me. This is the BBC now. The Beeb is talking about this, guys. So what I'm about to say right now is not my opinion. This is from the BBC. Okay, Prime Minister backs. PM backs minister as fifth grooming gang survivor urges her to quit. She's not going to quit. She is not going to quit, guys. Jess Phillips is not going to quit. She's not going to quit because she does not have any transferable skills. I'm looking at a picture of her now, guys, and honestly, I don't know whether I've got a sixth sense or like I'm looking at her now and I'm getting her life story. Oh God, that's dark. I'm going to go down with that picture. So the Prime Minister has backed the safeguarding minister, Jess Phillips. By backing her, the Prime Minister is unbacking the grooming gangs survivors. So there you have it, guys. We now have a Prime Minister who is anti grooming gang survivors. Like, oh, you grooming gang survivors, you don't know what you're talking about. My safeguarding minister, we believe her. We believe her over you. And look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I know my strengths and weaknesses. You guys know it. You guys have been following me for a while. I've talked about playing poker. When I used to play poker, that's not poker. That's poker, isn't it? When I used to play poker, I can work out the odds. For example, if there's 5 of you playing and everybody's got 2 cards, there's 52 decks in a card, you've got 2 cards, the cards, I can work out the odds in my head. Of course I can do that. What I was better at is looking at that person looking at that person and thinking if they're waffling or not, thinking if they look confident or not, thinking, you know, do I trust that person, and reading that person. Like you guys know, I won the deposit for my house playing poker. I'm not advocating gambling, guys. Don't gamble, it's bad for you, you know, only do it until the fun stops or whatever. Jess Phillips, ladies and gentlemen, look, let's just be clear. She ain't gonna get a job with Colgate, is she? I don't think Colgate are queuing up saying, "Hey, Jess, do you wanna come and be our bench, our sorry, guys, I'm being really rude. I'm being rude there. I take that back. I take that back. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that. Not even Jess Phillips. Googly is saying, best she'll get is a job in CEX. Do you know what, actually, Googly? It's funny. I was looking for a new camera because I need to upgrade these cameras on YouTube and TikTok. But I was looking at CEX and they do some really good, they really do some good camera. Bitch slapper. I'm sorry, I've got in there. So bitch slapper on TikTok is saying, I actually feel nauseous. I'm gonna assume that's because we've been talking about Jess Phillips. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you guys on TikTok, you guys have been fantastic. You really have been fantastic. I'm going to jump over to YouTube now. Once I jump over to YouTube, I'm going to get a carbonated drink. I am, guys. I'm going to find a glass. And I've got one there. I'm going to get a carbonated drink that I made myself. And I'm not going to lie, guys, it's going to be the most tastiest carbonated golden nectar drink that I've ever tasted. But before you go, guys, if you're not jumping over to YouTube, I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. If you're not jumping over to YouTube, I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning at 10. So don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, follow, bell notifications, all those things that help the channel go. Google it is saying, Sean, question, thoughts on the MOD black hole? So there's always black holes in MOD spending. You get things like you get consumables, all right? So with those consumables, for example, ammunition, 5.56. I'm just using any example. I know this is not going to be the one that's done. I think it was 20. Is it? It's not 20 billion. It's like 2 billion black hole or something. It's something ridiculous. Anyway, so say 5.56 ammunition. That's a consumable. So they just buy that regardless. So if you keep using it, that just goes, because like as an army, you can't run out of 5.56. That's a really bad thing. Or 7.62, whatever you roll with. So I'm going to suspect it's something like that. The MOD black hole, when these consumables keep running because people keep using them and they keep getting used, and that is just that manufacturer keeps supplying them, and whatever the amount they supply, they just keep supplying it regardless. So that's how the black holes get. That's how the black holes happen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump over now to YouTube. You guys have been fantastic. As I said, I've been restricted loads tonight, guys. I've been restricted absolutely loads, guys. I'm not even appealing it anymore. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at what time will I be on? I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I will, guys. Listen, tomorrow's going to be a wild one. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to have to. Tomorrow morning, I may actually be on a little bit earlier because I've got to go and collect some more wood from my friend as well. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I might be on a little bit early tomorrow morning, guys. I'm going to jump over to YouTube now, and I'll close you guys down on TikTok. If you're not jumping over, then I'll see you tomorrow. And if you are, I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are. We are off. And I know that you guys are. I know what you guys are asking. Like, Sean, what's happening with your cider? And I'm like, guys, do you know what? Do you want to see my cider? Let me go and see what it's like. Give me a second. I promise you guys, That is the first time I've had the cider, and the clarity is phenomenal. That is a clarity. Look at that. That clarity for cider is brilliant. On the nose, indistinguishable, guys. Indistinguishable. Right. On the nose, it's definitely apples. So this is, as I worked it out earlier, it's 7.1%. I know that's high for a cider. On the nose, it's appley. I don't know what else to say. It's yeah, it's appley and it smells a little bit sweet. So let's and honestly, guys, it's not carbonated yet. It's I've got a keg just over there that's carbonating. You know what? It smells like baked apples. Yeah, on the nose, I'm going to say you've got that slightly cooked apple aroma. It's a nice aroma. It is slightly carbonated still. It's a little bit warm. It's really strong, really strong. I'd say that may even be like an apple wine. It's got a slight carbonation. And it tastes like apples. So there you go, guys. Who would have thought it? Real apple cider tastes like apples. Anyway, I need to carbonate that. We need to carbonate that. We need to get it cold. We need to maybe bottle it. That's going mainly for Sarah's dad because he does like a cider. Right, guys, I'm going to jump to the bottom of these. I'm going to jump to the bottom of these comments. Right, who said that? Andrea Fenton. Opinions on Soldier F ruling. So for those of you guys who don't know, where do I go with this? Because I've got a lot of experience with this. So I joined 1st Battalion Parachute Regiment when I left the school. 1st Battalion Parachute Regiment was the unit that was implicated, let me say, in Bloody Sunday. It was support company. I was B company, then I was support company, then I moved on. So I've worked there. The officer commanded at the time, I've actually met him. So I do understand a little bit of this context. So my opinions on Soldier F ruling. So the Soldier F ruling was not guilty. That was always going to be the case because none of these guys are guilty. None of these guys are guilty. The reason these guys are getting dragged through the courts is because people can get legal aid for it and they don't care about the families. They don't care about the law and who did what and when. All they care about is getting paid. Like everything, guys. Like we just talked about Jess Phillips. Jess Phillips is never going to do the morally right thing because she get the sack. People won't vote for her again. If she does the morally right thing and says, look, yeah, we understand it. Like, again, I don't know if this is the case for entertainment purposes only. If Jess Phillips came out and said, yeah, look, I'm gonna hold my hands up. We've got a massive problem in the United Kingdom with Muslim gangs targeting young white girls and gang raping them. We've got a massive problem. She's going to lose her job. She won't get voted in. So she ain't going to do it. And that is the problem with politics, guys. That's the problem with politics. I don't want to be part of it. Like I keep saying, I was standing as a member for Reform. I resigned. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. And there you go, guys. That is the way things happen. Oh, Jess Phillips is in the chat. Oh, where's Jess Phillips? Hang on, where's Jess Phillips? So here's the thing. So Andrew is saying, how can Islamophobia be a thing? Well, okay, so a phobia is an irrational fear of something. You know, some people have raven phobia. You know, they're scared of me. And if somebody's scared of me, it's not irrational. You know, it's not. If anyone's scared of me, it is not an irrational fear, because I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'm an unstoppable force and an immovable object at the same time. Sorry, Andrew's saying, how can Islamophobia be a thing? It's an ideology, but even if it were a phobia, but even if it were real, a phobia is an irrational fear. Yeah, I agree. So an irrational fear of something is a phobia. So I don't know. Let's say you're a 10-year-old girl. And you've been, you know, and let's just say, for example, how do I go with that? Let's think of another example. Let's just say that Norwegian fishermen. I always pick on the Norwegian fishermen, don't I? I actually like, I always pick on Norwegian fishermen because, like, they're like the most nicest people you'll ever meet. If you've ever been to Norway and met a Norwegian fisherman, they're like the most nicest people you've ever met. And because they're nice, I'm picking on them. That makes me a dick. You know where I'm going with this. So let's just say that the United Kingdom, there's a mass epidemic. Thousands of girls are being raped by Norwegian fishermen. Is it a phobia to be worried about Norwegian fishermen? Or are you like, oh, well, predominantly these Norwegian fishermen, when they come over, they like to rape. So, you know, should we be worried about the Norwegian fishermen? You'd be like, yeah, we need to worry about the Norwegian fishermen. In its context, it's not phobia. So I agree with you, Andrew. You know, I agree. Philip Gray saying, oh, cider. Sean, would you like a 40-something% whiskey for Christmas? Freddie, I'm actually making, as you speak now, I've just got some bourbon wood chips sent over from Tennessee. I can't remember what the company's name was. International Spirits or something. I've just had a load of the actual wood chips for bourbon sent over. So I'm actually going to be making my own whiskey real soon. Slim is saying, I know Norwegian. He's a lovely guy. He's here on YouTube. Look, guys, I've never met a Norwegian that's not a really nice guy. And that's why I pick on them. Because I feel like a dick doing this. You guys know why I'm going with that, right? Because if I say other people, then people, oh, sure, you shouldn't do that. But, like, I know 100% that I would like, well, I wouldn't trust my kids with anyone, but like, if it was a choice between any race of people, any people around the world that I had to choose, like that, like, right, Sean, you've got to go on a secret mission. You need to leave the girls with someone. And I had all these people lined up, and there was a Norwegian fisherman or a Norwegian. I'd be like, yeah, over there to the Norwegians. I would. I've met lots of Norwegians, and they're all really good people. So it's absurd. It's absurd that a Norwegian fisherman would do things that, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go through what we just talked about. Oh, hang on. Pip, that's me, just jumped up and said, banging, let's get pissed. We don't need much of an excuse, do we, guys? We don't need much of an excuse. I mean, what else are we going to have? Listen, I've heard that there's going to be a 10% increase on alcohol when Rachel Reeves gets away. Listen, guys, let's go right back, okay? I want to repeat what I said when I first started this live stream, okay? So Britain is racing right now. Racing with their little two-stroke engines. You know, they're racing with their two-stroke engines to appease Muslims. Now, the reason I'm saying this is twofold. In fact, actually, I've got a video for you. Is it that one? Yes. Right, guys, I'm gonna do two things here. This is a short video. Right, guys, I'm gonna play this video real quick. I'm gonna play it for like 10 seconds. I'm then going to ask you guys if you can hear it. If you can't hear it, I'll move it over. Let me know if you guys can hear this video and you can make out what she's saying.
We are in the middle of an epidemic of moral cowardice, I'm afraid, in our country. We are appeasing some of the worst people because the police are afraid.
Guys, can you hear what she's saying, or do you want me to move it over? Guys, can you guys hear what she's saying, or do you want me to move it over? Sean, I thought you would be a real ale man. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm totally gay with when it comes to beer. Right, guys, I'm gonna let this play. So this is, I'm just gonna read this, guys. Okay, this is a leaked discussion among senior police officers has revealed that the police's greatest fear when handling sensitive cases is Muslims kicking off. I'm just going to let this play. I'm going to go and get a beer, and then I'll come back.
We are in the middle of an epidemic of moral cowardice, I'm afraid, in our country. We are appeasing some of the worst people because the police are afraid. And I have senior contacts with police who tell me that their biggest fear is Muslims kicking off. So that must be allowed to happen. And then their other fear is that a lot of us now have started refusing to go along with the multiculturalism that's worked out absolutely brilliantly. And they are now afraid of people pointing that out. But this is absolutely outrageous. And we've got this guy, Ayub Khan, an independent member of parliament who has celebrated this Israeli team not being allowed to come to Aston Villa. And he has basically delivered a load of propaganda and misinformation. He said that this particular team was involved in scuffles in Amsterdam, in attacks. The actual fact of what happened in Amsterdam, which is documented by a court, is hundreds of Muslims in Amsterdam ambushed and set out on what was called a Jew hunt, all right? And this was not just football.
I can't help myself, can I, guys? So I can actually remember this, what she's talking about now. It was a couple of years back. The Israeli football team had gone to Amsterdam, and like there were just riots all over Amsterdam. Can you guys remember? When she was saying it, I was like, Jesus Christ, I can remember that.
Fans, this was any Jew they could find. They threw them into canals. They jumped out of canals. There was immense violence. So what we're seeing, as I said, is the police are appeasing these people. We've got an Islamic preacher, Astar Rashid. When the Tel Aviv team, if they come to Birmingham, we will not show them mercy. That is incitement, right? Yeah. You have any other member of any other community saying that, and that they would be done for incitement, but it's all, let's consult with community leaders. Let's do a community impact assessment. We don't want the police to do a community impact assessment for one protected characteristic. This is the United Kingdom. The police are supposed to be policing for every single one of us. We are in the middle of an epidemic.
So what we can get from this video, guys, and I will try and put this in the comment. I will try and link this down below once the video is uploaded. But it's live, so I can't do it now. So what we can take from this, guys, is, you know, like I said, right at the beginning of this live stream, you know, Britain is racing right now to appease Muslims. Politically, they're worried about their votes and losing their job, which you can again, I don't agree with it, but you can understand it. And if you're going to get into politics, you need to get into politics for the right reason. And when you get into these jobs, and I've done it myself, guys, I've been there myself, and I've, you know, people come up to you and they're like, oh, Sean, listen, here's 50 grand. Here's like, you know, if you do this, and you're like, oh God, 50 grand's 50 grand, isn't it? But what I'm getting at here is, you know, these politicians, I would say their moral fiber is less I'd say their moral fiber is not what it should be. And again, look, guys, we can talk about what I've said previously about how we need to pay our politicians more, how the politician's salary should be a direct response from their constituents. I've said that many times, whereby a politician could earn 30, 40, 50 grand a month if they did what they said. Equally, a politician could earn zero if they don't do what they say. I think that would change the political spectrum, whereby you get politicians. I'm going to have this new wig. We are going to close down all the hotels. We are going to bring jobs. We're going to expand the high street. We are going to renovate Doncaster Airport. Right, am I elected? Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you in 4 years. That's the political system we have. So the politicians are worried about their vote. Like we just heard then, guys, if you want to jump backwards, like we just heard then, police officers are admitting that they tread lightly to avoid community backlash. By community, I mean Muslim community. And in this leaked discussion, she actually says that the UK senior, this was a discussion between senior UK police officers, and she said that the greatest threat when handling these sensitive cases of like raping kids. Have you lot been raping kids again? Oh yeah, we have. I'm sorry, love. I'm sorry, we've been raping kids. Oh, can you not do that? How dare you? This is racist. And for every offence, there's a defence. That is where we are right now in the United Kingdom. Police are scared. That is the reality, guys. The police are scared. Fear of civil unrest is now... The fear of civil unrest is shaping criminal law enforcement. That sounds American. Law enforcement decisions. And Britain's policing priorities have shifted. This is my opinion, guys. This is my opinion. Britain's... How do I put this? How do I put this without it sounding like... Britain's justice system has changed from a justice system to an appeasement system. So rather than, right, this is the law, fuck about with the law and you get that punishment. It's, oh, well, this is the law, but if you do that and you're not going to kick off, we'll not really punish you. That for speculation, guys, opinion and entertainment purposes, that's where it seems we are at the moment, guys. And look, I'll be true to what I said at the beginning of this live stream. Britain is facing a threat, an internal threat. It looks like the British police, the political system are all in a race to appease Muslims. The same, I'm not even going to say the same. I'm just going to say that you guys know what I'm talking about. We really are heading for that Mad Max scenario. The Mad Max scenario, whereby if you guys have watched Mad Max 1, I think he was 79. Let me Google this. Mad Max 1. He was brilliant, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson in Mad Max was absolutely brilliant. 79, yeah, I was right. So we're heading towards a Mad Max 79 scenario, not the stupid one with Tom Hardy. We're heading to that Mad Max scenario. That's where we're heading, guys, where we've got a police force, but they don't deal with the real criminals because the real criminals are too powerful. So what the police force do is they deal with the people who are pointing out the criminals because they don't want everybody to understand how weak the police force are. So what the police force are really doing in Mad Max, that's why Mad Max goes crackers, Max, is the police, Oh, God, I'm sure I just saw it up. The police are just doing damage limitation because they don't have the resources to stop the real criminals. So what they do is they stop people pointing out the real criminals. Oh, our kids have been raped. I've heard you've been done. Oh, that's Islamophobia. What do you mean? And if you think I'm lying, guys, earlier on I gave you the example. Anyway, guys, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this live stream down now. I'm going to close this live stream down now. Let me get a few comments, actually. Vote for Sean as Prime Minister. I wouldn't want to be Prime Minister, guys. I would be a dictator. I would need to be a dictator, a wild dictator. I would, guys. I'd be wild. I'd have castles and like all sorts. Guys, you wouldn't want me as, maybe you would, I don't know. You wouldn't want me as a Prime Minister. Maybe a dictator. We need a John Wick to awake from the crowd. John Wick, wow, what a fantastic movie that. I'm trying to grow my hair. I've got 3 phases. I've got the phase where it is now, which is a bit just like whacking me in the eyes when I'm running. And then I'm going to go John Wick, and then I'm going to go Aragorn, King of Men. Starmer says you'll never need a digital ID for hospital, but admits he has no idea how much the screen will cost. Look, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in British history, oh look, guys, you know what? Let me caveat this as well. I think let me Google this. Let me just Google this. Was it 24 or 20? I think it was 24. Right, give me a second, guys. Right, hang on. Labour won a commanding majority. Let me just look at this, guys, real quick. Oh, I can't get a definitive answer. Right, I need to ask another question. Give me a second, guys. I'm just trying to think how many people voted in 2024. Let's do that one. Wow. Oh my God. So Labour, oh no, sorry guys, sorry. I'm trying to. Right, it's not giving me. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find out how. Let me ask Grok. Grok always knows this shit. Sorry guys, I just want to know, because what I'm doing is that we know that Labour have got the majority. But what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to think, right, I know that the last election was, I think it was the lowest turnout ever. So, like, the least people came out to vote. So, let me just do this, guys, real quick. Wow. Okay. So it was less than half of all people. So less than half of the people in the United Kingdom voted in the election. Jesus Christ, that is Fucking hell. How is that even real? How? What the fuck? So 28 million people voted on the 4th of July. And as I understand it, the population of the United Kingdom is 66 million, right? So less than half of the people voted, and Labour took a 33% share of that. So it's like, guys, tell me if my maths is wrong, right? Tell me if my maths is wrong. 13% of the country voted for Labour. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Around 13%. Again, my maths may be off, guys. Listen, you guys have been following me for a while. I do Raven maths. It's quick maths. It's not always right, but it's always quick. And it's always round about the right area. So I'm saying right now with Raven maths that we have a government that only 13% of the country voted for. And look how draconian they're going, guys. Look how yes, we've got commanding majority. Well, you've got 13% of the population who voted for you. And that is the reality. And the mathematical analysis from that is, Grok is telling me 28 million people voted in the UK. I'm saying that there are 66, maybe 67 million people in the United Kingdom. So I'm saying that less than half of the people voted. Labour got like a 31 or maybe 32% majority. 31%, half of that, because you've got half of the population, but it's not half, it's less. So I'm saying half of it would be 15%, obviously 30. So I'm saying, call it 15, call it 14%. Do you know what? Call it 15%, just for argument's sake. So we have now got the most draconian government, probably going to send us into a third world war, with 13% of people in the United Kingdom voting for them. Wow. That is phenomenal. Tell me how that's democracy, guys. What is democracy? Jesus, I didn't realize. Guys, I do Raven maths in real time, guys. I do Raven maths in real time. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, people didn't want to vote, but also couldn't vote Labour. So yeah, you know what, Andrew? I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. It's like, have you seen that episode on The Simpsons? There's an episode on The Simpsons and it's saying like, there's two aliens and they're saying like, one of the aliens is saying, yes, we want to enslave and probe you. And the other ones are saying, yes, we want to probe and enslave you. And they're like, well, how are those things different? And then the people are saying, you don't want to waste your vote, do you? Oh. You know, and people are voting for him. What do you want to be, guys? Do you want to be enslaved and probed or probed and enslaved? Amir Cricket is saying, democracy is from Greece, the voice of the people, the masses. Do you know what, Amir Cricket? Thank you for that. Let me get this. Do you know what, Amir? Thank you. I think I'm going to look further into this. I'm just going to So I'm just looking at AI. Thank you, Amir. Amir, you may have just stumbled on something here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always say on this channel, I always say we have no legal framework to oppose a tyrannical government. And look, guys, and I'm welcome and I'm open to live discussions with legal experts, barristers, lawyers, people who have understanding in this context. I'm talking about constitutional law here. Amir Cricket may be onto something here. So I've just Googled this. In Greek, democracy literally means power of the people. A combination of the words demos, people, and kratos, power or rule. This reflects a system where the populace holds the power to govern. Now, here would be the thing, guys. Look, listen, guys, I'm just thinking out loud. Here would be the thing. We would need to understand what, and again, like I keep saying, guys, because if you live in the United Kingdom now, we are in a draconian takeover. That's the reality. We really are, guys. We're in a draconian takeover. So if we say we're in a democracy where the power is in the people, but the people don't have the power, how's that a democracy? You see where I'm going with that, guys? You see where I'm going with that? Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am going to close this down now. I've just realised the time, and it is getting late. I've got to be up early in the morning, like I am every morning, because I'm doing two gym sessions a day, and it is absolutely blasting me like a swizzle, but I'm keeping going because I'm not gay. I'm going to be doing two gym sessions a day. Tomorrow, I've also got to go and get some more wood because I got some more wood today, but I'm going to have to go and get some more wood tomorrow from another place. It's getting winter, and this is what I have to do, ladies and gentlemen. In the winter, when you've got log burner and you've got no central heating, you have to go and get the wood when you can get it. So tomorrow morning, guys, I'm going to be at the gym in the morning. I'm going to do the live stream. I may be a little bit early on the live stream tomorrow. I don't know, or it may be a little bit short. And then I'm going to go and get some wood. I'm going to go chop that wood, process that wood, and I'll be back on the live stream. I'll be doing videos through there. But listen, guys, like I said, the crux of this video is Britain seems to be, and I would say Britain is racing to appease the Muslims for the vote and to keep the peace in the local communities. But look, guys, you cannot appease certain people. You can't appease certain people because they will keep pushing. They will want for more. Inch by inch, mile by mile, they will want more until they've taken it all. And once they've taken it all, they will still want more. More is not enough. More is never enough. You can't give certain people enough. And that's the reality, guys. At some point, you need to draw a line in the sand and say, right, this is my line in the sand. Let's draw this smoky gun wagon until it's 1996. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. And that's it, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I really do appreciate your comments, your kind words. I'll see you guys tomorrow.